how did one of the most successful and beloved airlines in history go from this to this?
It was a failure, epically, from top to bottom.
Southwest Airlines, once a case study in great customer service, nearly hit rock bottom in 2022. Its revenue plummeted, resulting in losses exceeding $1.1 billion. What if I told you this fall from grace all boils down to a single decision that left Southwest Airlines saying,
"We messed up"?
To understand how we got here, we have to explore Southwest's early history. And it starts with this napkin. This may be the most impactful napkin in commercial airline history. In 1966, Texas lawyer Herb Kelleher and Harvard-educated pilot Roland King sat at a hotel bar and sketched out an idea for a low-cost intrastate airline. It was their solution to a regulatory roadblock. See, before the Airline Deregulation Act of 1978, airlines needed CAB approval to operate across state lines. The Civil Aeronautics Board regulated fares, requiring all CAB-certified airlines to charge the same rates for the same class of service. So Kelleher and King got to thinking, why not make a low-budget intrastate airline just within Texas? It'd connect the Texas cities of Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. They saw an opportunity to bypass federal regulations, allowing them to offer lower fares and more flexible service. All they needed was approval from the Texas Aeronautics Commission. And in February 1968, they got it, and Southwest Airlines was born. On June 18, 1971, Southwest launched its first flights between Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. With intrastate route approval, Southwest could establish the strategy that ultimately laid the foundation for its future success. First, Kelleher and his team picked the Boeing 737 for its reliability and efficiency. Essentially, using one model made it easier and quicker to fix and swap aircraft because they were all the same. In 2014, Southwest VP of Ground Permissions told the Oskaloosa Herald, "We only need to train our mechanics on one type of airplane." Next, it put a heavy focus on optimizing flight routes. While most airlines use the hub and spoke system, Southwest became an early adopter of the point-to-point model. Here's how it works. If you want to go from point 1 to point 2, under the hub and spoke model, a flight would need to go from point 1 to this coffee cup, aka the airline's hub, aka its main connecting airport. Then it goes from the coffee cup to point number 2. Southwest flies directly between cities. No coffee cup, just point to point. During these early years, Southwest only had 3 planes in its fleet, which meant it only had 10 minutes to turn them around at the gate to maintain its scheduled routes. Its open seating policy, where passengers got to select their own seats, allowed Southwest to switch planes easily without adjusting seating plans or issuing new boarding passes. According to tests run by Southwest, this saves passengers 1 to 4 minutes in boarding time compared to assigned seating. The company also used plastic reusable boarding passes and printed tickets on grocery store receipt paper to save time and money. This approach also saved fuel, leading to more frequent flights and the airline's legendary 10-minute turnarounds from landing to takeoff. Opting for just one type of plane, an open seating policy, and a point-to-point model helped Southwest achieve profitability by 1973. Under Kelleher's leadership, Southwest grew to be one of the most profitable, admired, and employee-friendly airlines in the industry. But after he retired in 2008, Southwest's continued dependence on its once successful strategies began to show cracks. Let me explain. Southwest's reliance on a single type of plane had once simplified maintenance and training. But the fleet's lack of flexibility caused severe disruptions when the 737 MAX was grounded in 2019 after 2 fatal crashes. The grounding of the Boeing 737 MAX had a severe impact on Southwest Airlines. The airline reduced the number of daily flights, including ceasing operations at Newark Airport. Southwest's second quarter profits in 2019 dropped by $175 million. And in October 2021, a storm forced Southwest to cancel over 2,000 flights in one weekend due to system failures. These strategies, which had previously propelled Southwest to success, were now outdated.
The pilots union says it sounded the alarm about Southwest's flawed systems for years, but were ignored.
In 2022, Captain Casey Murray, president of the Southwest Airlines Pilots Association, or SWAPA, made a bold prediction on the association's podcast, The SWAPA Number.
I fear that, we are one thunderstorm, one ATC event, one router brownout away from a complete meltdown. And whether that's Thanksgiving or Christmas or the New Year, that's really the precarious situation that we're in.
This morning, one of the worst airline meltdowns in U.S. history.
That's right. 37 days after that warning, a severe snowstorm named Elliott hit the U.S.
More than 3,900 flights were canceled in the U.S. yesterday, but just one airline, Southwest, accounted for more than 70% of those cancellations.
So why? Why did all this happen? Well, it was the same reason they faced similar cancellations in October 2021, the point-to-point system. Remember that coffee from earlier? This is what happens if the point-to-point system gets overloaded. Unlike the hub system, where flights are rerouted through a central hub, an overloaded point-to-point system leads to utter chaos. Southwest Airlines stated that it was fully staffed for the holiday season, but severe weather caused frequent, large-scale flight schedule changes. Essentially, the old technology couldn't handle it, so pilots, attendants, planes, and crews ended up in the wrong places, if they ended up anywhere at all. The 2022 catastrophe led to almost 17,000 canceled Southwest flights, 2 million stranded passengers, and over $600 million in estimated losses. It also received the largest civil penalty ever levied against an airline. The company unofficially received the nickname of
Southwest, the Grinch that stole Christmas.
So this doesn't make sense to me. If this company was insanely profitable, why not listen to the warnings of
iceberg right ahead
and invest in updating your tech? Where was the money going? According to a watchdog group, the company spent over $5.6 billion on stock buybacks for stockholders in the years before the meltdown. While Southwest definitely wasn't the only airline engaging in massive buyback investments, I'm looking at you, Delta. Show them how much. Southwest's investment is notable against its clear operational inefficiencies. After Herb Kelleher retired, the airline began to change its priorities. According to an open letter from SWAPA that will appear magically on the screen right now, the new leadership shifted focus to please shareholders. Despite warnings and union demands for tech upgrades, Southwest's management chose to reinstate dividends, becoming the first major airline to do so after the pandemic. By focusing on shareholders and because it
did not listen to those warnings, catastrophic conditions were created for passengers by the hundreds of thousands all across our country.
When it came to the 2022 meltdown, Southwest CEO said,
"We really messed up."
You did. I mean, you did.
And you've got my sincere apologies, and you got my full commitment. It's on me. You've got my commitment to do what it takes to fix our issues.
As of 2023, Southwest has committed over $1 billion to upgrade its IT systems. Despite these efforts, problems still exist. In April 2023, a firewall glitch stopped over 1,700 flights, revealing possible continued gaps in Southwest's IT setup. And in the biggest change to its business model in over 50 years, in 2024, Southwest announced plans to switch from open seating to assigned seating in 2025. It's so hard to say goodbye. We had some good times. This comes after a group of new investors with a $1.9 billion stake in the company began pushing for major changes. The focus? Profitability and share price. While these changes represent significant efforts to modernize and enhance customer experience, Southwest faces ongoing scrutiny for accountability and improvements that its competitors aren't afraid to make. Since the meltdown, United Airlines increased its spare aircraft by 25% and has more pilots per flight hour than before the pandemic to ensure it doesn't Southwest anyone. JetBlue has invested in new tech to fix canceled flights and reassign crews quickly. Southwest seems to be mending fences, having ranked #1 among travel companies on Newsweek's best customer service list in 2024. But the real question is, will you choose them the next time you fly? If you like this story and want to learn more, subscribe to the Hustle YouTube channel for the latest in business news.